What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It is your main man, Juggernaut of Multi-Platinum Production Team.
Arkatech Beatz.
Arkatech Beatz. Welcome to the music review series. Platinum producer, multi-platinum producer, music review series. We've been doing this for a couple of weeks. And we're just trying to, identify some new talent, identify some new producers, new talent, things that we may want to collab with in the future. For us as producers to be in the game for as long as we've been in the game, part of the game is to be able to identify and find new talent as it is ascending. If it's your first time here, make sure that you are like, commenting, and subscribing. If you don't know who we are multi-platinum producers, Arkatech Beatz. Shout out to my partner, Mike Trauma D. And we have been producing for your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, Big Pun, Nas, Prodigy, Mobb Deep, Jadakiss, The Game, Raekwon the Chef, Max B, French Montana, Wiz Khalifa, so many others, Freddie Gibbs, Sci-Hi the Prince, Waka Flocka Flame, Killer Mike, Lloyd Banks, the list goes on and on and on. 2 Chainz coming up. So, make sure you check out that Coke Wave 3.5, Narcos, Max B, French Montana. We are on that. Produced the song Me Too. And Max B's coming out with a new album come next week. $1 Million Baby 4, produced heavily by us, Arkatech Beatz. So like I said, if it's your first time here, make sure that you are, checking all of those things out. We are doing, like I said, music reviews tonight. Make sure you are submitting your music to the link on the screen. We're going to give folks a few moments to get in. There is some songs already that are in the queue. And we do want to give folks the opportunity to log on to the live as we were supposed to start at 8 o'clock promptly. But, duty calls. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live stream. Cooking up some beats, man. We're cooking up, there's some joints that we've been cooking up. Let's wait for folks to jump into the live stream. Like I said, if you have not already submitted your song, make sure you're submitting to the queue. We're going to check that out. We're going to take a listen to some things tonight. Like I said, we are looking for some artists and producers to collab with. For the producers who are looking to step up their game, make sure y'all are jumping into our school community at Future Producer Society. Make sure you're checking that out. We'll leave that on the screen for a little while so that y'all can check that out. All right, make sure y'all jumping into that. It's definitely a new community where we will be teaching the music business and teaching folks music production techniques, etc., how to sharpen up their game, etc. Yeah, man, we're doing these music reviews, man. We're going to jump at this in a hot second. Give it a few minutes for folks to jump in real quick. Get this live jumping. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into it. Spook the Kid, what up? About to get started in this thing real quick. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live stream. I appreciate you jumping in. I'm going to jump into this first joint called Turn It Up. Turn It Up by Venom in Your System. Mobile, Alabama in the building. We're going to take a listen real quick. We got some priority skips in the building, so we're going to make sure that we're looking at those.
Before I hit up in here, let loose, and I'm in my zone, gotta find my rhythm. Hit it with a lyrical flow, reintroduce, so I be still going hard with the stars of cold. It's gotta be Venom. I'm bringing the heat, releasing everything that's in me, but I gotta remain calm, aim clear, insane in the brain, on the battlefield, train the life. Whoa, wait a minute, let me get a little bit of the room, my body, and I go to villain, and I spit the fire to the track lights, get my action, and now I gotta get wild and hostile, get active. Turn it up and let her know, then I'm ready for whatever range you've been gonna get up. I'm a nigga try, get the simple fucking pedals to better up, and I ain't let her know, then I give him my all. Showing up and showing out what I'm gonna do, attitude in the mode, and I'm full of fuel, I refuse to lose. I got the winning mentality, underestimating me, singing don't do. Get the blues to cool, the winner losing now, the morning coming with the morning summer, telling me you're gonna get it when the day, gotta get it coming, just I'ma let it go, it all. Yeah, I just came to turn it up. Get live on the track and I go off. I just came to shut it down. I ain't got no talk, but get on the microphone and really go off. Dope with the flows, I'm a rockin', a poppin', a droppin', a properly. No one ain't no stopping them, honestly. And the energy they're gonna be harnessing. They take it offensively, but I'm so reverse eventually. Playing games, I'm offended when I started. Never get past the mask, so confused. Actually, I don't need no one new, believe me. I'm definitely different, undeniable, fighting on ruthless. Fired up, cause the mission gotta drop these bonk, cause the chaotic scene. Talk with the sound of the clock, and I scream in the face, looking on the air, hoping this music bring me back to reality. I don't think that's happening. I ain't taking the shorts and losses in a minute, the winning. I gotta see the victory, been overlooked in the times, and I just like it long. Gotta get up, get out, and get it going. She's showing the spread, flowing. I'm gonna be part of who it. Really be siren, when the blind gets hard. Design the flaws, systematic, I go hard. Yeah, I just came to turn it up. Get live on the track and I go off. I just came to shut it down. I ain't got no talk, but to get on the microphone and really go off. Let me shine now when I'm on the microphone and I'ma spit it how I want. Hell yeah, I'm a fat that spitter, ain't strong enough for any oversee, not at all. Oh no, but up it around, let me add mama. Dealing with the DV get dogs, the blurred line, the kill vibe, and then the medication where I can fix what I'm on. Just know I'm up for the hope, cause the down, cause the dope and the flow, just gotta be relatable. This is it, I'm a psycho, back to the basics, spitting that flow I came with.
I'm dangerous, so dangerous. Ain't name that I can hang with them. I can slow it down or I can speed it up, and it ain't never till I had enough, Venom.
Now I'm trying to turn it up and let her know that I still got a skill, cause I'm in my zone. Man, been about to play, when to get it in the ray, cause I'm talking in sight. Now I'm trying to take it now, till the time to go by when the lights is off, and to get a bump in, I'm jumping. Still got so serious, yeah, I'm curious, now I gotta feel it, cause I got it. Yeah, I just came to turn it up. Get live on the track and I go off. I just came to shut it down. I ain't got no talk, but to get on the microphone and really go off.
Yo, that joint is called Turn It Up, Venom in Your System, or Venom in My System. This record got a bad mix, right? I'm sure you guys can hear it. Like the vocals is completely, totally overloaded in this. So whoever recorded his vocals way too hot, and it's like overpowering everything. And it's almost close to being inaudible, like in terms of like the distortion coming through my headphones, listening to it. You know what I mean? So it makes it very, very hard to listen to that. From a skill and technical standpoint, in terms of him, doing the fast rapping, I don't really have too much issue with it. I think that's executed pretty okay, so like it's executed pretty okay in terms of the way that he's doing the rhyme scheme and stuff like that. It does what it needs to do in terms of his ability to do that. I think that it has its place. It's not for everybody. I could tell you that. It's not for everybody. It's very, very niche audience that really appreciates or even cares of that type of technical rapping. That some people really hone into that, but it's not like this large audience of people that really are dialed in to this type of rap and skill level. You would have to really curate your audience. It's gonna take some time to do that. The song is pretty much at the right time frame, a little bit over 3 minutes. The mix is bad for me, and the music is okay. I don't. The track is kind of like a, feels like a stadium music type vibe. I think that works fine. I think the song is structured fine. I just feel like the lyrics are okay. I feel like the rhyme scheme and the cadence is okay. I feel like his voice is okay. It's just a matter of getting that vocal to be re-recorded and mixed better. I think if we do that, we might be okay. And then we have to probably see if we can beef the hook up a little bit. And when I say beef the hook up, meaning like try to probably get a few more voices on it to make it feel bigger. Pause. But I think the mechanics of the song is there, so it's just going to take some fine tuning to get us over the hump with that. But I'd like to thank you guys for submitting that, man. Appreciate that, man. There's Venom in your system. Let's turn it up. Make sure y'all are checking that out on the socials. You can see it on the screen. We're gonna get into our first skip of the night. All right, he's skipping the line. We had about 50 people in the line, so he's skipping the line to get his music heard to the front. So shout out to him. Spook the Kid, what's happening with you, man? So you couldn't shorten the intro? Let's listen to it, man. Let's see what you did to this thing, because I had some feedback for Spook the Kid a few days ago, maybe about a week ago, as it related to a song that he did, and let's see if he cleaned it up. Let's see how it sounds. The song is called Glory. Spook the Kid. All right, make sure y'all checking him out, man. Spook the Kid. That's Spook the Kid. Let's go.
Told him I just gotta go and get a bag. Ain't talking Hermes, baby, I come from the rags. But now I got these riches, now I got these bitches. Now I'm sacrilegious, they ain't fucking with me. I done sold my soul so many fucking times. I switch them out with you if you can give me mine. And I don't want your girl, I'm fucking with her mind. Can't see what I've been on like I'm on fucking mine. And I'ma handle business, just tell me what it is. I'm taking niggas out, tell me where's the fucking list. Death note, Astro. Fuck all you niggas, but I guess I'm the asshole. Let me get my lasso, let me get my passport. Bitches wanna go fuck with me, but they better ask my last hoe. How the shit go? How the shit flow? How she had to go treat a nigga, then tie my Winslows. I want a Benzo, just want a new Ray. She never fucked a rich nigga, she want a new taste. With a brand new race, get a brand new form. Can't fuck with old hoes, man, them bitches too bored. And I can't fuck with young hoes, them bitches be illegal. But 25 to 30, I'ma go spread them like an eagle. Record it like Omegle, put it straight into the safe. Just made a new bitch, then I went and fucked the face. Then I took a friend too, I know how friends do. She said she loved the Lambo, that I had in Malibu. I think she meant the Lambo. Oh shit, your friend slow. Tell her don't scratch the new ghost, tell her don't touch the handle. Glory, glory, hallelujah. When you lose it all, just watch us how they do you. Glory, glory, hallelujah. But that money counter won't go do it to you. Glory, glory, hallelujah. When you lose it all, just watch us how they do you. Glory, glory, hallelujah. But but that money counter won't go do it to you. She said, just tell me what it's really about. I'm just like a dentist, baby, all I need is open mouth. I told her I just need a money counter. I don't need no damn accountant, baby, I don't open house. She said she really like the whip I'm in, and all I do is win and win. Baby, don't matter what I spend. I said, baby, check the hue blow. I feel like I'm Ingram where they talking about my new glow. I feel like I'm Diesel where they talking about my new hoe. I feel like I'm Kanye when he said he feel like Pablo, Picasso, Escobar, Apostle. I'm hostile for the takeover, man, the wait's over, and I can't wait till the hate's over, cause I ain't sober and I hate clothes, cause it ain't love, that's real shit. This real shit that rich niggas gotta deal with. Don't spill shit when you in the whip, get kicked out. Fit this big dick in that big mouth. I'm a big deal from the big south. I'm a rich slave in a big house. Glory, glory, hallelujah. When you lose it all, just watch us how they do you. Glory, glory, hallelujah. But that money counter won't go do it to you. Glory, glory, hallelujah. When you lose it all, just watch us how they do you. Glory, glory, hallelujah. But that money counter won't go do it to you.
Yo, this is much better, bro. This is much better. Still a little long because we have almost 5 minutes. Ain't no song 5 minutes no more, bro. It's still kind of long. You know what I mean? In terms of the length of this record, but you know, I like the hook that you put on here now. So now we got something that feels a lot more complete, feels a lot more cohesive. It gives us something that we can pretty much repeat and have in a certain type of a cadence. You know, but I'm gonna stand on it being the appropriate length. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to find a way to condense this and get this tune a little under 3:15. You gotta get it there. If we can get it there, then I think you're gonna be straight. Because this tune has all of the components of being something that'll stick. You know what I'm saying? So you know we've already established that. You know I feel that you know that you got a good vocal rap presence, and honestly that is like in this day and age this is like 90% of the problem, right? Is that the aura or the presence of the rapper are not standing out on the tracks, right? They're kind of like they don't have enough swag. It don't have enough confidence. It doesn't have enough riz. You know, whatever we want to use to highlight that it factor that makes people can listen to something and say, hey man, I like the way this cat sounds. I want to see who this is. I want to see what they look like and see if the aesthetics match the vocals, right? So in my view here, you know, there is to me there's a song here that has a whole lot of potential, you know, and I would challenge you, as we get it, like you're getting it to the point where it's almost ready for like real consumption. Even right now, where it's not, where we still may have to tweak some things, I can guarantee that if you take snippets of it and you put it on social media, that you'll get a good response. If you haven't already done that, pardon me. So I think again that outside of this being lengthy, I think the song is where it needs to be, right? It's just a little bit long. We gotta find a way to see if we can get a little bit shorter. If we can do that, you're good. If you can't, it is what it is. You know what I mean? We're gonna just keep pushing it. You know what I mean? Cut it up in terms of social media. Cut it up in different micro parts. Find the parts of the song. Take different parts of the song and test it out with different pieces of content. And I mean any pieces of content, right? You got a whole bunch of AI stuff right now. Take it, put it behind some of the Superman stuff and all this other stuff. Anything that you see getting put out right now that gets a lot of traction, just couple your music to it. Even if it means you're gonna get, a few takedowns here and there, but just to get people into your tune. And let's see what happens, man. Let's see if folks are into it. Let's see what folks are saying. Let's see what folks will start to resonate with what you're dealing with. So I think again, yeah, I think that I think you got something here, brother. And I appreciate you, taking the feedback and implementing that feedback, because now what we're dealing with a tune that is so much more closer to completion. You know what I'm saying? And not a lot of artists have are able to take that constructive feedback. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say kudos to you for taking the constructive feedback and running with it. You know what I mean? Because now what that tells me is that you're mature enough to say, okay, you know what? There is room to improve. And any artist that is dedicated enough with room to improve, you can't stop them. You know what I'm saying? You can't stop them. And that's how come you have like the guys who have these real long runs. These are the guys that are dedicated to improvement. Your Nas's, your Drakes. These guys are students of the game. Your J. Cole's, Kendricks, who continue to want to get better. And when you see these type of folks, this is why their careers are as long as they are. It's because they're dedicated to getting better. And taking that feedback and moving forward with it. So I appreciate you, brother. If you got more music, just feel free to share it with us. I'm looking forward to what you got. I'm looking forward to seeing what you got going on, man. Because that's what we're looking for, man. We're looking for the artists that have the right temperament, and then also for artists that are doing for themselves and making things move. You gotta put people don't understand how much you gotta put into this bitch, man. Yo, to get rudimentary, to get a semblance of success in this thing. People just don't understand what it takes. What does it take for you to take the record, have somebody listen to it, say, all right, take the notes, take your money, go book the studio, make the changes, export that bitch, bring it back. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people don't really, when you really start to really unpeel the onion and say, okay, look how much I got to do just to get it to this point. People don't understand, man. And it's like, and for the ones who are dedicated to doing that, these are the ones that's going to get better. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the ones that you're going to look at them and you're going to say, damn, homie really did it. Yeah, because we was dedicated to this bitch. You know what I'm saying? We was dedicated to this bitch, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's like, I never forget it. I had a situation when, I was in between, being an artist, and then I started making beats, because what happened was, as an artist, I couldn't find anybody to give me any beats. So I started to, buy the equipment, start to make the beats. And the beats, in my opinion, was just coming out better than the rhymes. Right? And like, the beats for me was coming out better than I could rhyme. And then what really took me out of the game altogether was that I had my 15-year-old cousin, Pressure, who I sometimes be playing all that stuff, and he was 15 at the time, like 96, the time when I was doing what I was doing. And he was just rapping light years around me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, he's so young and he's rapping like this, young cat, talking about all types of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Egypt this and all of that, and 5% this and everything. He was just going crazy. and I just felt that I would be better producing, you know. And someone said to me, was like, so what you think? You think you're gonna be the next Pete Rock or something? And that was the connotation people was giving me when I was trying to start it out. It was like, you think you're gonna be like this, or you think you're gonna? And I was like, I'm not trying to be like Pete Rock. I'm trying to be like me. But I hear your sentiment, and I need you to watch what we're gonna do. And I never look back. You know what I'm saying? And put our head down, and we worked our fucking ass off until we did what we had to do. You know, so I have to just tell people, like, yo, you gotta be willing to pay the cost out this bitch. You know, and not everybody's willing to do it. People like to talk that shit, but they ain't really ready to walk it. Like, you know, to really understand the things that you got to do. You know what I mean? To really get to that point. You know what I'm saying? So I want the folks that are like watching. You know what I'm saying? And I show up on this live, and you know what I'm saying? And you know, my phone ringing right now, you know what I'm saying? My phone ringing. There's things I got to get done, you know what I'm saying? But I said, I'm gonna, you know, but I told folks that I'm going to show up. So that's what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I told folks I'm going to do it. And I don't really care if it's 3 people in the room, 5 people in the room. It don't really matter. You know, I just need the folks that's following me to understand that, you know, you got to do the shit when nobody watching. It's also when people are watching it, you know, because that's what's going to make the difference. So I'm going to get off the soapbox. Let me get back to the music reviews, because I got this joint coming in here from Wiz Beats. Shout out Big Riz in the building. Kaz in the building. I see y'all. Shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. You know, Future Producer Society, my guys out here making it do what it do. TMR Podcast is free to submit, but it's just 50 people in the line, man. So I'm only going to be on for a limited time. So it's free to submit. If priorities, you know, skips, of course, going to get listened to fast before everybody else. This next joint is called The Maniac. It's by Wiz Beats. Let's take a listen to this joint and see where it goes. Maniac by Wiz Beats, man. Paid Skip. Listening for this song structure. Take a listen. I think this is starting on an off bar, bro. Yo, shout out to Wiz Beats on this, man. This joint is called Maniac, man. Y'all can follow Wiz. That's his Instagram is on the screen. Paid priority skip tonight to get listened to fast in the line. So I like the overall idea of this record. I like where these drums are. I like that, you know, that particular those sounds of, you know what I mean? Like that's like it reminds me of, you know, Mob and certain things, you know what I mean? I feel like this beat can be mixed better, right? That's maybe the first thing for me. I feel like, you know that drum pattern is a prominent drum pattern, and it seems like it's a little bit louder than the rest of the music. But my core problem is the way that it starts, right? And you're starting off with a decent intro, but what's happening is that you're starting on bar 7, right? And then when you do that, you literally put everything kind of out of whack, you know, saying for in a sort of a way. And I think that that kind of thing can't happen where you're having stuff that's starting on an off bar like that, because it with most music is basically we're doing things on the 2 to 4, you know, the 2 to 4 to 8, never really on 6s and 7s, right? These things kind of make songs feel disjointed, make songs feel a little bit out of sync. So I would see if you'd be able to tweak that to make sure that that's not, you know, occurring in this record, right? And then also I need this record has different parts in it, and it has this guitar part in it. It has some other parts in it, and I think we kind of get an idea of the vocal sample being the hook. But then we have that other part that comes in that I think could probably, with the electric guitar, that could probably be more prominent throughout the verse, right? But we have to structure it right. So we have to kind of figure out, like I've been talking about at length, 4 to 8 bar intro. We're gonna do an 8 bar either a hook or 8 bar initial verse, and then we go into that 4 bar transition between the verse and the hook. If we keep this format, right, try to stay away from the 16 bar thing. The 16 bar thing is an antiquated situation, especially when you're trying to pitch your songs. When you're trying to pitch your songs, you're not trying to make it that the verses are too long before it gets back to the hook, right? If we do those things on this, I think this lands a little bit better. And then we have to determine, you know, if we want the main part to be the right, and then we know that the hook is going to be the vocal sample, and then if we want the guitar to be that lead up until the hook, that might make better sense. But we have to find a way to get that to go. I think the bass could come up too. These drums bang now.
Come on.
See that part with this guitar? If this part leaded into the hook versus coming after the hook, what kind of build-up would that have been?
Come on.
you see how that build up would go crazy into the hook. Like it would go crazy, man. So it's just like I said, just trying to find the right places in the song. Think of it like a roller coaster, man. Like we have the anticipation of being drawn up the slide, right? Slowly while it's clicking and everything is rickety inside of the roller coaster, and then it hits the top. And then, they make us pause and they make us wait for it. Okay, here comes the drop. Boom. Everybody loses their shit. Before you know it, here comes another one. Pause. Oh my gosh, it's spinning. And you gotta take your song through that, like kind of like a roller coaster. You know what I'm saying? Until we get to the end and the ride is over. You know what I'm saying? And then we're so pumped up, we want to do it again, which is we replay it again. You gotta make us take us through that emotional high and low, man. Musically, you know what I'm saying? You gotta really think about it in that fashion. We get there, we'd be really good to go. But this was the Maniac, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my paid guys who moved to prioritize themselves so they can get listened to tonight. Appreciate y'all guys sharing that. Wiz, make sure you're jumping in with us on the Future Producer Society. I think, there'll definitely be some things there for you that you'll be able to get into and get yourself, get skill up on that over here. So I'm going to drop the link on the screen for my producers who want to join the Future Producer Society. What is it? It's a place for producers to learn the music business primarily. And we'll be teaching that directly from me, taking my 25 years of experience in this thing, doing the case studies, doing everything, good, bad, and indifferent, and letting people, hear what's going on, and then also showing people techniques and different things that we'll be talking about in the coming weeks. You know what I mean? So it's about to get real flooded. I just need this $1 Million Baby 4 to come out in the next 6 days. By the time that comes out, then it'll give me a little bit of reprieve. But like I said, we're right back in working on the next album, Down Snow. So, it don't stop. So, we're just doing that. But I'm able to kind of give guys real-time case studies because we're doing stuff in real time. Shout out to these guys who got the #1 record in the country as far as digital sales. Ever Since You Left Me, French Montana, and Max B. So, we're doing our thing with this, man. We're making it go. We're making it do what it needs to do. Make sure y'all are joining that Future Producer Society. And, we're about to jump into some more music before we get out of here. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live, man. We about to jump into one or two more songs before we may have to tie this thing up. Try to see what we got going on here. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live stream, submitting, liking the live, sharing the live, doing all that other good stuff. Appreciate you. Will, what up, man? Shout out to you, brother. I ain't seen you in a minute. Big Riz, thank you for the shares, man, and for the likes, man. Appreciate you. Don, what up? Kaz, what happening, man? All right, we getting into this next joint called Wanderer. It's called Bad Conduct, produced by Point 2. see where it's trying to go. Oh, Natural Substance, what up? Yeah, this is one of those ones. Yeah, this is definitely one of those. This is one of those ones, man. Yeah, this is one of those ones. So, I don't know if you guys sometimes notice in the beginning when songs are playing, sometimes you see me counting, right? Like 3, 2, 1, right? Like this is where it's supposed to drop, right? This is where the beat should be dropping. Are they doing it? Not so much, right? So it's weird, you know what I mean? So sometimes I'm counting and I'm trying to give you guys a visual cue of how most listeners would be expecting the beat to drop. Like he literally went 40 minutes of silence, before he actually said anything on the music on the track. And that to me is a big no-no. You know what I mean? We say it all over again. Like there's just no way for you to go 40 seconds without saying a word. We don't know what's about to happen on this track at all. Like we just can't. That just can't happen. Or you got 40 seconds of, not even you saying your name on the song. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to be able to do better than that. Outside of it being like a little bit, outside of it being, just a little bit, off key and kind of, a little bit disjointed, I can understand where that track, might be wanting to go. And it's like, it's a mixed thing where it's hard to really hear him over the music, and the music is kind of doing one thing and he's doing another thing. So it's not really a good marriage of song, And I don't really like to mince words, but I'm really trying to make sure that we remain a positive place for music review. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm really trying to make sure that I'm establishing, that I'm giving constructive feedback. What I don't want to do is I don't want to turn it into something that, I would typically like, yo, this is really like, you got to get that out of here type, Trying to get off the, like, make sure we don't have those type of vibes. Right, Riz? I like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep that diplomacy, you know, in check. You know what I mean? I'm trying to have that diplomacy. I'm trying to show guys that it's not where you're from, it's where you want to be. And even the worst of worst people can evolve. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to show people that we can evolve. We can come from certain underprivileged means, and we can change, and we can evolve, and we can be anything that we put our minds to, right? And not be dragged back into the savagery. Right. And then I agree with you on that too, Riz. You know what I mean? That you know, this is another illustration and a different lesson as it relates to reading the room, right? Like, I'm going into a room with French and Max and these guys, and I'm walking in with rock music. Like, I'm not reading the room, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not playing what I think is going to, you know, get me what I might need from the person that's, you know, giving them their time and their platform. So I agree with that, you know. Not to say that I can't listen to everybody's music. I can listen to anything, you know what I'm saying? If it's dope, you know. If it's one of these things where you're trying to kind of slap things against the wall, you know, we know what that sounds like, you know what I mean? Slapping things against the wall, see what sticks. I think we've all tried that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think we've all tried that. There's nothing that we can do to replace the work. Like, you can't replace the work. You can't replace the commitment to listening, the commitment to dissecting songs, the commitment to training your ear. Like, you can't, there's nothing you can do about that. You have to do it. It's just the heavy lifting. There's no shortcut, you know? So, you know, and it doesn't matter what genre you're in, right? I could be listening to Wham or Tears for Fears. You know, it's going to be the same thing. A dope song going to be a dope song, bro. It don't matter from what era. It don't matter from what genre. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that I be playing for these kids in my house, they be like, yo, what's up with this 80s music? I be like, listen to how these songs are constructed. Like, listen to it. Like, listen to the songs. That's the only way that you're going to understand real good songwriting. Is you got to listen to that old stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got to listen to that old stuff. And then you got to kind of see how the old stuff influenced the new stuff. Because what I'll do is I'll play an old record, and then I'll play a hip-hop record that sampled it. And the kids will be like, yeah, I heard that on this. I was like, what, see why they sampled it? And kind of reconstruct why they would do it. You know what I'm saying? It's you have to understand this, man. This is part of the game what we're in, you know? So, you know, we doing what we're doing, you know? But we're going to jump into this next one. I got a few more, you know. I got a few more minutes on this, folks. So whoever's trying to get listened to tonight, you know, now is the time to, you know, make that move in terms of trying to skip the line. We got about, 49 in the line right now, give or take. This one is called Do What You Feel. They call God's Beatz. A West Coast slapper. I cooked for an artist. You know, that's the setup. Do what I feel. I want you to do what I feel. I'm going to do what I feel. Yeah, let's listen to it.
God created real classics.
no mix at all. Yeah, that's God's Beats. Listen, yeah, like how somebody could pick the right sounds, but just use them in the wrong way. And I think this is what we have here. Like, we have all of the right elements, and just, not necessarily, put together in the right way that it's married correctly. It's not married in a way that I think would be, that's gonna work. Snare is smacking. The extra air candy is all present. It needs to be there. I think that kick drum is maybe not loud enough. You might need a harder kick drum to kind of drive that. You gotta get that bass to really rattle if we want that West Coast to really be poignant. And you gotta go back. You gotta listen to the guys that's making that music. You know what I'm saying? You gotta listen to that Battle Cat. Gotta listen to that DJ Quick. You gotta listen to that Dr. Dre. You gotta listen to these joints, that Daz. You gotta listen to them, man, to make sure that you're getting, what you gotta get to. You know what I mean? There's so much. There's so much dope guys out there that make this type of music for you to really listen to compare your joint. You know what I'm saying? If it was timed and mixed right, like I said, it had all the right elements, just wasn't put together right. You know what I'm saying? It's the right sounds, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think it's the right sound. That's half the battle. Some guys can't pick the right sounds to save their life. You know what I mean? So I think he did a good job there, picking the right sounds. It's just not, it's not married together properly. So, that causes a lot of the issue, if it's not mixed the right way. Had some really clear samples. Like I said, it was clean. It definitely was clean. The right sounds. Jump out of here, folks. Duty calls. It's gonna be another long night. Shout out to my folks, my future producer folks. We will be doing music production inside of the portal, most likely tomorrow. So we'll be jumping in. Like we're gonna do this at 8 o'clock, and most likely we'll jump into our music production situation probably like 9:30 tomorrow. And like I said, I'll be putting a lot of those things inside of the I'll be putting those back into the portal. So just look out for that. We're gonna be doing that, and then there's some new drum kits coming. New drum kits coming. More new drum kits coming. We're adding on to the MPC module. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be, I'm not sure how long that module is going to turn into. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to turn into a 10-hour module. But, I'm in my brain, I'm saying, hey, it's going to have to be as long as it needs to be. Just to make sure that folks are getting what they need. Then we're going to be going into the producer's guide to the music business. Right? So we're going to be going into that. So those things are going to be just kind of, drip feeding those things in and getting those things put together. We want to just make sure that the content is going to be, clear, concise, have good visual aids. I want to make sure that those things are very clear for people to be able to see. And then also, like I said, between the drum kits, between, the other special offers and stuff like that we'll be putting inside of there, more interviews, etc. I want to make sure that I have all of those things in there so that when folks are like, what are we actually, putting our money toward, you kind of see where we're putting your money toward, you know what I mean? And then Also, remember, guys, that for our community, we do have a referral program. So the platform itself, has a built-in referral system. So anything, of course, that you refer, you catch what you kill. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's like a 40% or something like that, referral or affiliate type thing. So just make sure that you're taking advantage of that. I remember what I said. I said I want to be in a situation where, if you're referring people and things like that, that you put yourself in a position to also earn. You know what I mean? So, while we're trying to help each other, at the same time, that's just my, give back to you guys. That if you're sharing the word and giving the word out there, whatever you're doing, that you're going to be able to share in those spoils. You know what I mean? So, just shout out to all my folks that are in that, and I'm about to sign off because I want to have to gotta start sending out some stuff. Got some more things I gotta take care of tonight. So the grind doesn't stop. We're gonna keep doing what we do. I do appreciate everybody. For those who are submitting, if I didn't get to it, I can't really. I have to apologize on that. It's just it's a lot of music, and of course priority stuff will get listened to. Super skips and thrones, we can guarantee those will get listened to the fastest. All right. But if you have any questions or concerns, make sure you hit me up, man. I appreciate y'all. And until next time, peace out. Be safe.